The next speaker is Mr. Kubiš, Special Representative of the Secretary General for Iraq and Head of United Nations Mission for Iraq.
Madam Chairperson, distinguished participants, the military defeat of so-called Daesh Caliphate structures in Iraq last year by the heroism and sacrifices of the Iraqi people and with support of the international partners represents a truly historic achievement. But terrorism, and especially ideologically motivated terrorism, is a resilient and adaptive enemy. Therefore, we need to recognize that the struggle cannot be over without addressing the root causes, ideology of Daesh and similar forms of international terrorism. Otherwise, the next stage of their evolution will again exploit the gaps that the recent military victories did not and could not address. The resolve of the current and soon to be established future Iraqi government to consolidate the gains of military victory against Daesh through a comprehensive and inclusive approach based on prevention is of the utmost importance. Primacy must be given to voluntary returns of IDPs to the conditions of at least basic security and stability, to community and national reconciliation and stabilization, including justice and accountability based on principles of equal citizenship, tolerance, and resilience. That also requires political, ideological, economic, social, and legal solutions and reforms with a specific focus on how to provide the increasingly young Iraqi population with a dignified future, how to empower women. Distinguished participants, I commend the commitment of the newly established UN Office of Counterterrorism to facilitate implementation of the 16 recommendations made by the Counterterrorism Committee on advancing Iraq's counterterrorism priorities in full coordination with the government of Iraq. Based on the findings of the joint UN OCT and CTED scoping mission in Iraq last month, UN Office of Counterterrorism is now working on the development of priority thematic projects. In April this year, the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, Terrorism Prevention Branch, officially launched its new program for Iraq for the coming biennium on the, I'll quote, lessons learned from Iraq's counterterrorism efforts and response to future challenges, end of the quotation, and announced the plan to open an office in Baghdad. The current conference, and here I would like to acknowledge the role of USG Voronkov, is a contribution to our common efforts. It should also help mobilize support for measures to counter and prevent terrorism based on the needs of Iraq, like one of the countries that is fighting international terrorism also on our behalf. We need to acknowledge Iraq and its role and sacrifices of the Iraqi people, and this acknowledgement should also be transformed to concrete support for the needs of Iraq in this fight against terrorism and in the prevention activities. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. The next